So this is day 1 of the Respect Dare, and it's written by Nina Rosner, and I really hope I'm saying that right. One thing I wanted to share with you guys before we actually went into what Dare 1 is the scripture that this book is based upon. Sarah in the book, who is married to Abraham, was a perfect and prime example of how a wife should be. It says that in honor of the daughters of Sarah, who actively live out Ephesians 5:33, which reads, "The wife must respect her husband. You are her daughters if you do what is right and do not give way to fear." And that one is 1 Peter 3 verse 6. There's an overview in here that talks about why the book was written, and it's extremely useful to read. But there's a specific paragraph that really spoke to me, and I'd like to share it with you guys. It says, "We must actively dare to pry our fingers off of control, release our fears, and step into the unfamiliar, trusting God each step of the way. We dare to dream, dare to love, dare to guard our hearts, and dare to no longer wrap up our identities in the wonderful but sinful people in our lives. We dare to take our sense of self from God's opinion of us. We dare to obey His word, and we dare to let go of the comfortable habits that do not work. We dare to risk being changed. We dare to trust God without knowing what the outcomes will be." I thought that was really powerful, and when I read it, the part that says that we dare to pry our fingers off of control, that's pretty incredible, because today the sermon at church, we both go to lifechurch.tv, it was about that, about letting go of control, and that's something that I really struggle with, and I'll talk more about that later. But dare number 1 is to release expectations off of your husband. First, I was supposed to actually write expectations for my own progress, and so I wrote that I will refrain from telling my husband what to do or how to do things. I will refrain from raising my voice or speaking in negativity. I will consider his opinion before setting my own opinion in stone. Backing up to refrain from telling my husband what to do or how to do things, that's going to be pretty difficult for me. I see him doing something like, "Baby, don't do it that way," or "Honey, you're not doing that right." Or I'll be like, "Hey babe, can you do this? You know, you need to be doing this." And I give him lists of to-do things like all the time. I'm pretty controlling. I was molested by my stepfather and had several instances with my real father that were pretty hurtful, and actually trusted a police officer in a specific instance with something, and he did nothing. I have always had, because of those things, I've always had issues with leadership. I've had issues with the idea of authority, and it's been really hard for me to be submissive, especially to my husband. I've always been the type of person to want to just take control and wear the pants, especially because I do love God so much, and I worship Him, and I read His word, and I'm consistently working on my prayer life, and I love Him so much and so intimately that I trust Him. But when it comes to another man, it's hard for me to trust, and it's hard for me to be submissive and to let go. But it is God's will for me to be submissive to my husband. God has given him the right to have the leadership in our home. And when I try to take that from my own husband, it hurts the heart of God, and it's outside of His will for our family life. Also, refraining from raising my voice. That's actually kind of funny. My grandpa was always a very loud, boisterous man, and I don't know if your vocal cords can be hereditary, but I'm a very loud person, just like my grandpa was. And I talk a lot, just like my grandpa did. But I remember even as a kid being in the grocery store with my mom, and she would tell me, "Honey, Emily, calm down, lower your voice, I'm right here, you don't have to yell." And whenever I get really passionate about something or upset about something, or I'm really trying to get my point across, I'm even louder. and it drives my husband crazy. He's like, hey, quit raising your voice at me. Just speak to me like a normal human being, and it makes him feel like a child. And so that's something I definitely have to work on. The next one, the last one, I'm considering his own opinion before setting my opinion in stone. Because I love God and because He's given me dreams and visions, I've kind of gotten to a place of pride where I assume that I am more spiritually aware than my husband, and so when I have an opinion or an idea, I set that in stone and I don't ever consider his. So this whole idea, I mean, we've been married for 5 years. He said that in the introduction. And this is something that has got to break, and I'm ready. I'm ready for God to be Lord over my life instead of me being Lord over my life, because it's not working. So that's dare number 1, and just if you want to put comments or ask questions, feel free. Healthy criticism is always good. So anyway, I'll see you for dare number 2. All right, bye.